If you want to make $20,000 a month on OnlyFans, you're going to have to know how to market. And by marketing, I mean how to get new fans and new customers to your page every single day. Over the years, there's been tons of different ways to market your page, but in 2026, there really is only two that are consistent and reliable. And if you've been in the game for any amount of time, you know that even these social media channels have seen major changes over the last couple of years as well. So here's how the top 1% is staying ahead of the game and making sure new fans come in every single day. My name is Luca Gray, and I've been running an OnlyFans agency for the last 2 years. We've worked with creators from all around the world and all different earnings levels, from 2K to 5K to 10K to 20K, all the way up to 50K a month and more. And I'm about to show you the two main marketing methods that we use with all of the creators that work with us and how to make sure that they're getting the most amount of fans possible. I'm also going to give you a workflow at the end of the video that you can follow to make sure that you stay on task, you stay consistent, and you stay competitive. So let's get into it. So in 2026, the main two social media channels that will get you the best results are Instagram and Twitter. A lot of people use Reddit. We've used Reddit in the past before, but I've found it's kind of hard with the band waves. They have a lot of AI, and it's kind of hard to stand out with Reddit. And Instagram, it's one of those places that you can get famous and use this clout to go on to something else after. Instagram and Twitter is where most of the money is made. So those are the two that I'm going to be breaking down in this video for you. So we're going to start with Instagram. Instagram is the king of the internet, and the biggest OnlyFans models on the planet are using Instagram to its full capabilities. However, there are pros and cons to using Instagram. The pros is you can get massive growth, and this is where a lot of the fame comes from, and a lot of the fans you get from Instagram are higher quality because you're not competing against a bunch of not safe for work content like you'll see on Twitter. However, the cons are Instagram is banning a lot of OnlyFans creators. You can't have direct links to your OnlyFans, and you kind of need to skirt the rules with your content, unlike Twitter where you can post basically anything you want and never have to worry about bans. The main reason why Instagram is so powerful is because of short form content. These are called Reels on Instagram, and this is the main way that you're going to get new discovery to your page, to your OnlyFans. And if you're not good at making Reels, you're completely behind the ball. So I'm going to give you 4 tips on how to use Instagram correctly to drive more traffic to your OnlyFans page today. Tip number 1 is you want to look like a regular hot girl who just happens to have an OnlyFans. Instagram has gotten very privy to OnlyFans creators, and they know exactly what you look like. If you're putting a direct OnlyFans link in your bio, or every single piece of content is half nudity, you're going to get banned. They're using AI now to scan a lot of this content, and they're removing a ton of profiles. So what you need to do is you need to be an influencer first. Somebody like Lil Tay, Lena the Plug, all of these people, they had an audience before they started OnlyFans, which puts them way ahead of their competition. At this stage of the game, you can't come off as an online prostitute. You should look like a regular person who has a regular life and uses all the features of Instagram, who just happens to have an OnlyFans. Tip number 2 is you should be attaching your brand to an actual interest that you have. Bonus points if this interest has a huge male demographic in the older age ranges. Why? Because if you type in the search bar Pokemon on Instagram, it's going to index the biggest videos that have that search phrase. People are already searching for Pokemon. They're usually men, and they're usually older men who have some money, or millennial type people. If you can attach your brand to an interest, it makes you much more findable. You don't have to blow up, and you don't have to teach people who you are. You can piggyback off an interest that already has a built-in audience, and people are already searching for it. So if you can just appear in those search results, you're going to get some free traffic from people who are exactly your target market, which are older men who have money to spend. Tip number 3, you cannot have a link in your bio at this exact moment. We've had creators who have never had a piece of content removed simply because they had the link.me in their bio. Their reach got limited. What we've been doing is we've been promoting primarily through stories. So this is the workflow right here. Somebody finds you off of your Reels, they follow you, and when they see your story, that's where you promote your link. You can use your link.me on the story. You use the little button and it says, "Don't open this at work. This is the only place I respond to DMs," or "I'm bored, come and talk to me." You need to make sure that when you're promoting on your story, you're using a spicy photo, no nudity. It needs to follow the terms of service of Instagram, but the photo you use, the caption you use, and all of that stuff really, really matters. The second thing that you're going to do to promote your OnlyFans is you're going to take all of these story posts and you're going to put them in a highlight on your profile. If you have the link in your bio, you'll get scanned by AI, it'll crawl it, and then sometimes you'll have your reach limited. If it's in the highlights, you put in the bio, "Do not check my highlights," or "The fun stuff's in my highlights." You can direct people to the highlights, but do not have your link in the bio in 2026 until further notice, because we've seen creators lose accounts over simply having a link in the bio. And the 4th tip to blowing up on Instagram and promoting your OnlyFans is you need to give yourself a proper chance to succeed. People out there that are posting on Instagram and getting a lot of views, they're posting more than you are. You need to be posting at very, very minimum once a day. And this is if you already have a built-in audience and you already have a ton of people following you. You can kind kind of let your foot off the gas if you have 100,000 followers, but if you're building from 20 to 30 to 40,000 followers, this is 3 to 5 posts a day territory. You need to be posting more, posting photos, posting stories, posting reels, and you need to find the reels that are actually working for your demographic. If you're a dark-haired girl or a Latina, you should be looking for content that other dark-haired girls are using. Why? Because this is a proven concept. In advertising, we never want to start with a blank page. You never want to reinvent the wheel. You want to find great content, execute that content better than your competitors, and post more volume, and that's how you're going to stand out and grow as fast as possible. So moving on to the second main social media platform that you can use to market your OnlyFans, and this is Twitter. The main good part about Twitter is you can post full nudity and nobody really cares. You won't really get banned, you might get de-indexed, you might be categorized as an NSFW page, but you can post significantly more risky stuff on Twitter and you won't really have to worry about being banned. But there are some cons to using Twitter as well. Since it's more of a lawless land, the subs that you get from Twitter are usually lower quality. They're more tire kickers, they're more freeloaders, because if you're on Twitter, you can see basically all the nudity you want for free. So why would somebody justify going to your page and spending money on it when they could just hang out on Twitter and see unlimited amounts of nudity there? So I'm going to give you 4 tips on how to use Twitter to market your OnlyFans. Tip number 1, on Twitter, you can use a direct OnlyFans link. So what you should be using is you should have a tracking link that allows you to see which fans are coming from Twitter. You should have tracking links on all of your social media platforms, but since you can post a raw link in your bio on Twitter, this allows you to see what kind of content is working and what kind of content is actually getting you results. You can go into the settings on OnlyFans, generate yourself a tracking link for Twitter and put it in your bio there. Generate yourself a tracking link for Instagram as well, so you know that if your Instagram is the one that's actually driving you money, you can put all of your eggs in that basket because that's what's actually working. Data is very, very important, and Twitter is really easy for this because they allow you to put an OnlyFans link directly in the bio. The second thing is you should be using a 2-step Twitter process. Once you're categorized as a not safe for work account, your reach gets absolutely tanked. Obviously, you'll be visible to the gooners who are following this and their For You page is full of it, but you want to get new traffic and new eyes. So what we recommend is you have one safe for work Twitter where you're doing your viral content, and you have a second not safe for work Twitter on the back end. You put the username to your not safe for work Twitter in the bio, so somebody could go click through, go over there and see what you have there, and that's when you're going to transition them over to OnlyFans. But your safe for work Twitter, this is essentially the top of your funnel, and you want to make sure this never gets categorized as an NSFW page because it'll completely tank your reach. So what you do is you post your viral content on your safe for work Twitter, you have the link to your other Twitter in the bio, they go over here, and then you have the link to your OnlyFans on your not safe for work Twitter. This allows you to keep very, very high reach, but also to collect gooners on the back end that will convert over to your OnlyFans. Tip number 3 is Twitter is primarily a text platform, so comments and engagement and retweets are the most important thing that you can do. On Instagram, it's watch time and likes and saves. On Twitter, it's mostly comments and retweets and the conversation that's happening behind it. So one thing that you can post on Twitter that always works is you do a before and after post. Say you're a nurse and you're in your nursing outfit, right? You take a selfie, you got the nurse outfit on, then you have a second photo that appears right beside it where you're in your underwear and you're in the bathroom. This is the before and the after. This allows you to have a caption like, which one is your favorite, 1 or 2? These are the captions to your tweet itself, and this allows people to vote essentially in the comments. And you respond to the comments and you make sure that there's a lot of comments on your post on Twitter, because this is the main metric Twitter uses to see if something goes viral. If a lot of people are retweeting and commenting and engaging with it, that means it's going to get pushed and it's going to give you more traffic to your NSFW Twitter and your OnlyFans. The 4th tip is a lot of people on Twitter are using retweet for retweet, and we do sometimes use retweet for retweet. The main thing is people take it way too far and their page becomes a promo page for everybody else. Then it basically just becomes an explicit page in general. That's not what you want. You want to make sure that your brand looks high quality and luxury. If you have a bunch of everybody else's pages on your page, it looks spammy and it looks weird. You want to make sure that if you're going to do retweet for retweet, you do it sparingly, and the majority of the pieces of content on your page are of you, so then your brand doesn't degrade because of other people being on it. And the last tip here is Twitter is very, very good for fast fans, but we've found that on the back end of OnlyFans, they don't really spend. And this is exactly what I said before. If somebody's on Twitter, they're surrounded by nudity, they're surrounded by this type of content, why the hell would they go someplace to spend money? They're going to be tire kickers, they're going to be freeloaders. There are great fans that come from Twitter, but we've found that Instagram fans are significantly higher value because they're more likely to actually want to spend. They're not on Twitter where everything is super degenerate and there's nudity everywhere. They're actually in the mood to spend some money because they feel like they have to. Somebody from Twitter can go to your OnlyFans page, and the moment they're about to buy it, they'll just go back to Twitter because they can get it for free anyways. So you should be using Twitter and Instagram, but we've found that Instagram fans usually turn out to be whales more often of the time. So as promised, here's a workflow that you can use every single day to upgrade your marketing and get more fans to your OnlyFans. The first thing you should be doing for marketing on OnlyFans is you need to be cultivating your For You page for Twitter and Instagram. You should be following other creators that are doing viral content that look like you. This is the easiest way because all of the ideas they're using have been proven. You can sort by outliers on Instagram, take a look, what is the top performing video, what are the comments looking like? That's something that you could possibly copy. on Twitter, if something's doing really, really well, you should not get egotistical. You should be copying what works and never start with a blank page. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. We are trying to find stuff that fits for you and do a little bit of remixing. You don't want to copy. We like to call it remixing because you want to put your own spin and make it yours. The second thing is you want to have a document with all of the content that you're going to make for the coming week. You do not want to fly by the seat of your pants. You want to make sure that you have all of the reels, all of the Twitter ideas in one spot so that when you're ready to film, you can just go through them all and do them all in one session, because procrastination is a killer. You need to make sure you're organized and you have a proper system that you can do even when you're not motivated. Tip number 3 is using deep work sessions. If you have that document with all of the content for your Twitter and your Instagram, why not just film and take all of those photos in one day? You don't have to edit them. You don't have to make them and post them. You just get all the filming done so you can move on to the next step and build yourself a marketing machine every single week. Tip number 4 is edit them all in a deep work session as well. This allows you to be consistent, and consistency is what separates the best creators from the mediocre ones. Tip number 5 is take all the finished videos and draft them or schedule them. This removes the friction of you having to remember and go and post them yourself. Putting them in the drafts and creating a content schedule for yourself is exactly how the biggest creators are doing it, because even when they're not motivated, these videos have already been done, they're already scheduled, they're already drafted. You don't have to remember the post, and it makes it way less tedious. Tip number 6 is you should be responding to comments with a video on Instagram. Specifically, if they're getting a lot of likes, this allows you to start drama. And if somebody sees that video on the For You page and they have no context, they're more likely to go through and see what the context is about. They're going to go to your page and watch more videos. If you're getting comments on Instagram and a lot of people are liking them, always respond with a video to the comment. It makes the comment appear on the screen, and it creates this FOMO for anybody who didn't see the original video. Tip number 7 is posting every single day on your story on Instagram promoting your OnlyFans. This is basically the only way you can promote at this exact moment without having your reach limited. So make sure that you are consistently posting on your story and driving your newfound followers that you got from Reels over to your OnlyFans as quickly as possible. And the last step in this workflow is finding new content for the following week. Go back to Instagram, go back to Twitter, and build your document of all the content that you're going to make the following week, and make sure that you have them saved so that you can get into your filming session, you can get into your editing session without having to think about it. The more you do this, the more it feels like brushing your teeth, and it's just something you do every single day. Once you get to the point where it's automatic and you have a system like this that you're following religiously, that's when you're actually going to hit the goals you want, because as I said, the best creators in the world are taking this as serious as possible. They have systems, they have ways to keep themselves accountable and keep themselves responsible. So try this workflow today. Let me know how it goes. If you want me to work with you directly on your chatting, on your optimization, on your Instagram, on your marketing, I'm doing a free 30-minute audit with a select amount of people. What I'll be doing is I'll take a look at your Instagram, I'll take a look at your niche, I'll take a look at your OnlyFans, I'll take a look at your chatting and all of those strategies, and I'll give you some tips on how to get yourself to the next level. The caveat here, you do have to apply for this. We're not looking to work with beginners, because a lot of these tips don't actually work for somebody who doesn't have established motion. We're looking for people who have been in the game for a little while and just need that boost to the next level. So if you want to apply for a free 30-minute audit with myself, go to the link in the top pinned comment or the link in the description. You can fill out the application there, and if you qualify, you can book a call with me and we'll get you to the next level. So if you like this video, make sure to hit that like and that subscribe button. Leave me a comment if I missed anything here, and I'll see you guys in the next one.